Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. So our first question will begin with Sheriff Miles, then to Sergeant Summerall, and then Sergeant Bubakar. And so we'll work left to right for the rest of the evening through our closing comments. So the first set of questions address the sheriff's leadership role and his deputies. The first question is presented by Mr. Franklin to Sheriff Miles.
Sheriff Miles, what do you see as the greatest challenge facing the sheriff's office in the next 4 years, and how would you address it?
The greatest challenge right now is housing for juveniles here in the city. We had a contract with Chesapeake Juvenile Services, and Chesapeake ended that, and now our deputies are spending many hours on the road picking up juveniles from as far as Rappahannock. And last year we did over 20,000 miles just in juvenile transports, and it's costing a lot of man hours for that. And I'm working with the jail authority as well as city leadership, trying to establish resources locally for juvenile housing. Inside the office, we have 30 full-time positions. All of those positions are filled. We have our median experience level is 19 plus years of service. Everyone we hire has already come from either a regional jail, a sheriff's office, or a police department. So even though we have a small agency, we have very diverse experience, and that is one of our strengths. Something I'm working to do, because we just picked up as a part-time deputy, a captain from the police department, is being able to integrate the training between the two agencies. So I'm looking to create an MOU with the city and the police department so that deputies that come from the correctional environment will be dual certified and be trained to work at the way that the police department's policies are written, so that they all communicate and work together the same on the street when they're responding.
Thank you, Sheriff Miles. Sergeant Summerall.
From my perspective, one of the biggest problems facing the sheriff's office here in Suffolk is the fact that we're the fifth fastest growing city in the state of Virginia. We have the smallest sheriff's department in Hampton Roads. I would like to get more numbers. With numbers, you can start to do more for the community. With the SRO program, that'd be 22 more deputies for the schools. I wanted to get a traffic unit, 2 to 4 person, that would concentrate on the major thoroughfares, 58, 664, 10, 17. I drive it every day. I drive 58, and folks drive by me, and I'm not a slow driver, so I'm going 70. They drive by me like I'm standing still. There's no law enforcement out there. I would like to change that. You need numbers to do that. I understand the funding issue that the city's talking about. That's why I'm going to aggressively, one of the first things I would do is hire a contract writer, and I would go after government contracts. So grant writer, go after government grants, both state and federal, to try to get those numbers up. I also want to take some initiative with the elderly. Coming up in Portsmouth, I saw what Bill Watson had done with going out and helping the elderly. If they couldn't get out, if they were homebound, he would have folks go and cut the grass for them, take care of their yards for them, get them groceries, bring the groceries to their house for them, so that they could have, what they needed if they were homebound. I'd like to do stuff like that. Again, Project Lifesaver. Look, I want to take care of the folks with autism, the folks with Alzheimer's, things like that. And I think that's a sheriff's responsibility. I don't think that's really the police's responsibility or the fire here. Actually, Suffolk, the fire does it. I think it's, as a sheriff, you're responsible to the folks more so than the police. They're more responsible to the city manager and the city council. As a sheriff, I'm responsible to the folks who voted me in, and I'll do what I can to help them and do the best I can for the city.
Thank you. Sergeant Bubakar.
Yes. The biggest challenge, like Mr. Summerall said, is also hiring more people. With the growth of the city, in Suffolk, we only have 2 precincts, and that's just not enough. We would love to have 4 precincts, but it's not in the case. I think the sheriff department needs to hire more people. Me, as a sheriff, focus on the school resource officer program is also a way to help the police department, because what we do is when we put those people in the school, that would allow the police department to get more officers on the street. I have friends calling me when they call for 911. Sometimes it'll take them 20, 30 minutes of response. And you can't blame them. The sheriff department, the police department already telling us that they cannot keep up with the growth of the city. So as a sheriff, I do believe that that's one thing we have to hire people. And like Sheriff Miles say, yes, you have hired people who got 19 years experience, stuff like that. It's great. However, people who spend 20, 30 years in the service, it's just hard to ask them to be proactive. And we need a sheriff's office that will be proactive. How are we going to do it? We have to be very proactive in recruiting younger people from Suffolk. We have to entice them to come to the sheriff department and hire them. And also, as a sheriff, I will work with Norfolk Sheriff's Office because they have a training center over there. Send them over there so they can get trained. For the school resource officer, you need somebody that is dual qualified. Not only the sheriff certification, but also law enforcement certification. One of the things I want to also create a traffic unit, but also is going to be also a transport unit, because that will help police department also. When we have an individual who needs to go out of, like in out of city, 100 miles and over, for a mental issue, the sheriff's office can provide them. So the big thing I think we have is we have to hire more deputy sheriffs.